Airbnb. Oh my God, these short-term rentals are amazing, and Janelle Davis put us on the game, and I'm going to share with you a lesson that I learned because she gave me a couple doozies, and it's going to be some amazing ways I can put you on that STRs can make some money. Let's get into it. All right, so first lesson I learned from Janelle Davis is have a system and stick to it and know your audience. If you are in the short-term rental space, and this will go into if you're doing like property management as well and getting people in, know this. You have to know whatever system you have, keep it, as well as know your audience. Because your audience should affect your system should affect your audience. Now, Janelle talked about how she had an audience and she chose not an audience, but she had a system and she chose at one point not to follow that system. Because she did not follow that system, it ended up getting her to a place where she was having the wrong kind of guests. And we'll talk about that here as well as far as attraction. And she had the wrong type of guests. Now, I say this to you because we have to put a system in place. If you're flipping properties, if you're buying rental properties, if you're buying small rental properties, large rental properties, single family, particularly if you're doing STRs. And for STRs, I think this is more important than any of the others outside of flipping. Because what happens with short-term rentals is everything needs to be systematic or you're going to be constantly in that property. And it's the same thing with flips. You have to have somebody who's going to clean before the next guest comes. You have to make sure all the issues are taken care of before the next guest comes. You're going to have to make sure the owner is doing well. If you're doing a STR sublease kind of thing, where you're working with the STR, your short-term rental property owner, and you're just renting out the property, all these things are going to have to be taken into account. And again, it's much like, the flipping a property. When it comes to multifamily normally you have a larger team. On a smaller multifamily, it's more of kind of the flip area if you're not doing the BRRRR strategy, so you're living in it. If you're doing living in it, it's not as big a deal, but nonetheless, have a system. The reason you need a system is because a system is going to keep you safe. You understand that system, it makes you that much more dangerous. There are many people who flip and do short-term rentals, but I can guarantee the ones that are very successful at what they do, they can tell you the cost of whatever countertop when it comes to a flip. Granite countertop, how many square feet? They can give you the answer. Why? Because they use that piece of material over and over and over and over and over again. And because of that, they know exactly what that number is. When it changes, it throws a wrench in the system for a short period of time. Now they have to learn a new material. So they know the cost of bamboo flooring as opposed to laminate flooring. And they know it based on square feet and what they've done in their past. They can at least get a relative number, which is what makes them dangerous. For short-term rentals, it's the same thing. If they know, okay, I need to have the tenants come in at this date. I need to make sure my cleaning crew comes on this date. They know the time frame, how long it takes for their cleaning crew to finish, how many people it will take to rent out the property, and then how that affects the cleaning crew. Is that more time they got to do because these people are super messy or they're super clean? So you can anticipate and adjust accordingly. So have a system in place. Number 2, know the rules of the game. During Janelle's episode, we had, by the way, if you're looking for Janelle's episode, we'll put the card up here somewhere. Now, during Janelle's episode, Janelle was able to break down all the rules that came with the properties that she was working with. So know the rental rules, not just of your rental or the Airbnb rules, but as well the location that you're at as well. Is there HOA? What are the HOA laws on it? What are the HOA's gripes and complaints? Because just like Janelle told us during the episode, she experienced more headache because the HOA and the people who own the property in the area started getting irritated with the guests that were on. And make sure you go check out that episode because, God, that story in the middle where she kind of talks about the renters or the tenants, the bad tenants that she had, there's some heavy lessons in there that you can take from that and really be effective in the short-term rental space. Next, price attracts. Think about this. Are the same people that are shopping at Nordstrom the same people that are shopping at Big Lots? No. Why? Because the price is what attracts the people, right? Yes, People who are shopping at Nordstrom's can go over to Big Lots, and so on and so forth. Yes, the people at Big Lots can go to Nordstrom's, but the likelihood is slim because a Nordstrom is going to be in a little bit more of an affluent area. There's going to be a little bit more money walking around. Big Lots, even though it's a great location, the people with more money sometimes don't want to go there. This is the pricing game. It's the same thing for you as a short-term rental. If you rent out your property at the wrong price, you're going to attract the wrong guest. It's that simple. And this is not to say one is better than the other, or that somebody who doesn't have money isn't worthy of it, of those luxuries at Nordstrom, because they very much are. But when it comes to business, these are why these prices are so much different. Louis Vuitton prices their purses different than Coach. Coach prices their purses different than Jessica Simpson. This is just how it works, right? They are going after a particular target, and because they're going after that target, they have to know that the price attracts. Now, keep that in mind when you're creating your own short-term rental, or you're looking at renters for your rental space, wherever that might be. Know that the price can dictate good or bad guests, or it can dictate great or okay guests. You just have to be aware that what that number is for you and for your area. And you can do that by going on to different places like AirDNA and things of that nature, and really researching that area and what's happening in that area and those right numbers. Next thing, short-term rental has some great opportunities to create income. All right, so short-term rental. This is the part that Janelle put me onto that I didn't think about. Short-term rentals have a lot of availability for people who want to get into short-term rental space. I'm going to give you a few examples. I'm going to give you 3 examples. First is, of course, the normal short-term rental, right? Just renting out a particular small house, a single-family home. The next thing is doing a short-term rental for a multifamily property. Let's say you find a multifamily property owner who has a 4-plex. 2 of those locations are never rented. You've passed by the property 5 or 6 times. Go talk to that owner and offer him or her the ability to do a short-term rental. You rent out their 2 locations, those two particular units, and let people come and stay there on a short-term rental basis. Of course, you got to check the laws in the area, but it's an amazing idea that I did not think about, because it's not just you doing a small single family homes, but now you're looking at small multifamily. And I'd say again, the next thing is do the same thing for large multifamily properties. The exact same thing for large multifamily properties. If you know somebody who owns a 100-unit property, and you can guarantee he or she that there is, hey, I can rent out 5 of those properties consistently every month, and you give them whatever that number is, I am almost certain, I can tell you with some certainty, that they're going to take the shot, particularly if you're doing like a 10 unit and you can do 5. But the number has to work, of course. But if it's something that you can continually get renters in, it's such a great way to go about it. All right, we're running low on time. Next thing, service is the key. Janelle, at the very beginning of this episode, talked about how service is her number one thing. Now, she's very successful in short-term rental space, and there's a reason why service is her number one thing. It's because that's the only thing that matters. I can tell you very, very easily that I know people who are in the short-term rental space that all follow this same kind of ruling and law. And what they do is they do everything that they can for that person who comes in. Probably one of the most impactful pieces is that very first arrival. I got a buddy who's in he's in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, and he puts wine bottles inside of his Airbnbs. They choose to drink it. Most of the time it's just a gift to them as a guest, and they drink from the wine. Here's a kicker. There's quite a few people who I know who are doing it, who are selling their own wine, giving them basically a free sample of their own wine, and then putting in their information where they can order more of that same wine. Boom, double whammy. 2 at one time. How could it get any better? Oh, how? 3 at one time. There's people who are putting water in there and labeling it with their own water label. They're selling artwork out of the Airbnb property as people are renting the property. They got the price tag or whatever the number is. When you go into the property, you know you can purchase this particular piece of art. It's nuts, man. Short-term rental has so many ways to make things effective. It's almost as good as crypto and NFTs at this point. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, go check out Janelle's episode. Go look on YouTube at The Oliver Perry Show. Make sure if you're on YouTube already, leave a comment. Let me know the lessons that you got from Janelle's episode right here in the information below. Until next time, I got to go. But remember, you're better than you were, but you're not half as good as you're going to be. Love you guys. I'll see you soon.